baby, I've been. I go to meet him. When I get to the place where his car is parked, he's moved to the passenger seat. He is holding his arm. It looks like it's just gone straight through. And he's holding it. He's got his shirt tied around it and he's bleeding pretty bad. And at this point, I'm like, okay, so let's go to the hospital. And he's like, no hospitals. And I'm like, oh shit, here's that stuff I see in the movies. So I end up leaving my car there. I end up driving him home. I get him in the shower when we get home. I put a chair in there. He sits down, kind of washing everything off. He's just kind of sitting there like this. At this point, he's like, baby, get the stuff out of my car. Please go burn it. Take all these clothes that he just took off, burn them. And I'm like, okay, go burn the clothes. Man, I'm getting in this shit deep. What ended up happening was I ended up becoming involved because when the shooting happened, okay, because I had to give you the backstory. Because a lot of times people, they know my story about being a cat burglar, but they don't know how I really got there and why. Like, I didn't just wake up the daughter of 2 doctors who had a good education and a good future and say, I'm going to start robbing people for their shit all over Florida. Like, it's crazy. So I ended up getting into it like this. He wanted to go get back his stuff from this guy. I, like the noble girlfriend, Bonnie and Clyde, that I was at the moment, said, I'm going with you and I'm going to be the driver. I drove him to the house, but the house wasn't just any house. It was a trap house. So he tells me to stay in the car and he's like very adamant about it. Like, stay in the car. And I stay in the car for like 30 seconds. And then I start looking around. I'm like, holy, I'm in the hood. So I go in and he's like, what the are you doing in here? Like, what is going on? You're supposed to stay in the car, whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm here. And I was scared. So I'm here. Okay. And now that's just what it is. So he's like, fuck it. So we take it, we leave, but now this has like opened the gates. Like, I went to jail. My mom was like, I'm going to get you an attorney. I'm going to bond you out, but there's going to be some conditions. You can't see the guy. You cannot go back to that house. Whatever's there, it's a lost, like, just, it's gone. Chalk it up. It's gone. We'll get you new stuff. It's done. Even the car is even gone. Just let it all go. So I want to get out of jail. So I'm like, hell yeah, where do I sign? Like, let's do it. I won't see anybody. I won't whatever. But
why didn't you call Gia?
I did call him. I did, but I there was no answer. I couldn't find him. I couldn't nothing. I didn't.
You guys are living together though.
I couldn't find him. I'm tell you where he was, but I couldn't find him. So, what happened was my mom picked me up, and I'm very sad at this point because I'm like, damn, I thought he flaked on me. Like, I'm feeling like, damn, you just left me to rot in this shit, but also like, it just wasn't really his character, that he would just leave me like that. Like, at least he would send somebody to bond me out. This was just very weird. So what happened was part of the conditions, I couldn't have contact with him and I was so scared to go back to jail. I did not call him after I was in jail. I called him from jail, but he didn't answer. I didn't call him after I got out when I went to my mom's. I ended up going to a rehab facility. They wanted me to detox and go to a rehab as part of the conditions that my mom had. My 3rd week there, I get a visit and I don't know who it is. And it's very weird because visitation's always on Sunday. So I end up going out to like the lobby area because they called and said I had a visit over the speaker. And when I get to the lobby area, I see a big white S500 Mercedes in the parking lot. And his brother, Armin, always has the white Mercedes and he always has the black one. So I'm like, no. So as I'm walking through the lobby, I see the door open to the Mercedes and I see Armin getting out. And so I hurry up and walk out there because I'm scared. I don't want to go back to jail, man. But I'm still, I'm curious and we haven't had closure. Like, I went to go get gummies and now I haven't seen you for almost a month. And we were like in it thick, deep, So
right.
I go out there and Armin's like, hey, Gia's in the car. I haven't made it to the car yet. He's like, Gia's in the car and there's something going on and you need to know about it and whatever. He's fleeing the country. So I go, I look, I try to act like, not seeing him because I feel like there's bondsmen watching me from the bushes and shit. I don't know how this works. I've never been in trouble. So I'm like, oh my God. He's like, baby, I'm sorry. But right after I got arrested, he got arrested too. He was locked up for a little bit of time. Then he was like paranoid. And now he's saying, I'm fleeing the country. Please come with me. He's at the apartment door. I'm excited. I'm also a little pissed that you've been missing for 4 years. He was fleeing the country because he got in some legal problems. He didn't go too much into detail, but he said that somebody was hurt. He was here and he just never forgot me. And he just loved me all these years and always thought about me and whatever. And so I'm trying to be like all hard and tough. But of course I'm like, okay, I never forgot you either. And I'm like, all right, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm like, this is like some kind of mafia love story. He had a business. He had a mortgage company. Now he's not a mortgage broker. He's just, he owns it just says Amerifund Mortgage Inc. on the sign. That's what I see. I go to the office several times and I'm like, so that's the picture of the office. And I'm like, there's nobody, like, where are your employees? There's nobody in here. It's a desk. There's like one phone that has a long cord to a wall. There's like 2 chairs and maybe like a half a computer, like the keyboard or something. I started noticing weird things. No employees, a weird office. Then you have like a mechanic shop, but I don't ever see anyone like bringing a car and getting it fixed. I just see cars going in and then I don't see them coming back out. And I'm like, well, that's odd. When's the owner going to pick up their car? So I'm starting to think like things are strange. There came a point when one day I was at the house and he called me. And, let me back up. About 3 weeks before this incident that I was about to explain, it was maybe 5, 6 in the morning and I had been asleep all night like a normal person. And I hear a lot of ruckus in the garage and we have in our home. And I hear a lot of ruckus in the garage. At this point, I've like distanced myself from my family because they think he's not a good person. So I'm isolated from them. I've isolated from all my friends. I've dropped out of college. And I'm just like, with this guy in our own little world that nobody likes. And so I hear all this ruckus in the garage and I get up. And when I go out there, I see him and a couple of other Russian guys speaking in Russian and moving a lot of equipment. I mean, equipment like this, like, just tech type of stuff, but it looks like it all came from like a club, like club type of things, big, huge speakers, a big like turntable type of setup, things like that. And a lot of it. So I was like, what's going on? He was like, oh, baby, go back to sleep, baby. So I was like, okay. So I went back to sleep. I left it alone. I didn't really think much of it. Soon after that, maybe like a day or two, I was like, what was going on in the garage? And finally, he was like, okay, this guy borrowed money from me because his club wasn't doing well. He loaned him the money. He didn't pay it back. So he went in and he took all his shit. Yeah. He took all his expensive equipment. You can't run the spot without the equipment. And he took it all. And if he had to, he would just sell it and get his money back. So I was like, so that was the first moment that he like actually admitted something criminal directly to me face to face.
Right.
Shortly after that, about 3 weeks, he ended up calling me one day. It was, in the afternoon, middle of the day. And he ended up saying, baby, I've been shot. When our child is born, because obviously I'm in custody now, so baby's being born. You please afford my family the opportunity to have a relationship with him and whatever. And he was like, I'm sticking by you, but you're like the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me.
This is great. I've told all my friends the cops were here.
He's like, you're the coolest. Yeah. He's like, no. Like I've waited like 25 years to find someone this exciting. I'm not going to give up now. And I was like, okay, all right. So, but to be fair, he brought our son to see me every Sunday for 10 years to the prison. I had my son incarcerated. He took him home. He raised him. He brought him to see me every Sunday for 10 years, never got remarried, never had any more kids, never got another girlfriend. And when I got out, he moved to Jacksonville with our son because I was going back there and, I was on probation. And he got a condo in the same neighborhood that I got a condo in. And we co-parent, and his expectation of like anything after was just first, like, let's co-parent because you've missed a lot of years. So let's, and guys always get so pissed at this. They're like, you bitch, you used them for 10 years and then you, but
I had to stop myself from saying you're a horrible person. I said, don't say
listen,
she may leave.
No, if you go and look at any video that has any like snippet of him and what he's done, everything is like, you're just the biggest piece of shit in life. However, he responds to these things all the time. And
what do you
he
mean,
responds
in the comments?
better. Like, not in the comments, but like in life when people ask him or like, and he responds better than I do. And a lot of the reason that, we're okay right now is because of the way he responds. And so this is what he always says. He's like, I didn't bring our son. First of all, they lived in the same town as the prison. That's why I stayed in the maximum security prison and didn't go to like a better, prison or one with AC or whatever, because they lived like 10 minutes away. So him coming every Sunday was like easier logistically speaking, but I mean, it's, for 10 years, that's still an incredible act. So, but he's like, I didn't bring our son because I was expecting like a reward by way of us, you know, like I did it for my son. My son, I didn't want him to grow up and ever say, why did you not let me meet my mom? She wasn't a horrible person. Like he knew me in a different way than just a criminal. And he believed in the person that I was and the good in me and the ability to like come out of this. And so he didn't want my son to see me after prison and be 12, 15 years old and be like, she's not, you know, this horrible criminal. Why didn't you let me meet her or whatever and have anything, you know?
Right.
So he's like, I brought him not for her and not for me, for our kid.